look bust, let me get that. Who got hot clutch, don't get whacked. Who did y'all touch, go get back.
The Takeover. Coming live, The Takeover.
You see this?
We got two Kevins in the building.
Right.
Let's go! St. John's Takeover.
Right. And welcome back to WSJU Radio, the #1 college radio station all over New York City. With your host, Untitled Chapter. We on iHeartRadio. We brought the legend himself, WebCeo, Kevin Webb. How's it going?
Yes, sir, man. Great. We blessed out here, bro. Yes, indeed.
Right. Bless. How's life going? How's life going right now for you?
Yo, life is going incredibly smooth, man. I launched a company called The Takeover. So it's basically taking my marketing expertise and kind of spreading it out across the world and tapping into these new independent artists and helping them become icons. So,
how important is it for you to like make it across the world and reaching out to artists from like let's say the UK to anywhere from New York? I don't know we're right now in New York, but how important is it for you to reach out to other artists like in Cali, UK, and everything else?
Yeah, for sure, man. We have artists right now in the UK. ASB Music. A lot of times we work with independent labels. So, a lot of people have their own record label with their own artists on. And, it's super important to just tap out to all artists across the country and across the globe because, you never know where that new trend is coming from. It could come from, we got an artist in Australia named Kayla Finneck. We got artists, like I said, in the UK called ASB. We got an artist in LA who's actually on that compilation mixtape we put out. His name is Lil Bunko. We work with CEOs over there that have their labels, Donye. So, we doing our thing, bro. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like independent artists is more talented than most artists that are signed right now?
No, I wouldn't really say that. Everybody starts out as independent anyway, so A Boogie was an independent artist at some point. So the talent is comparable to different artists that's signed.
All right. And with speaking about independent artists, like a lot of people are making music. There's a lot of independent artists. What's 3 key things that that catches your attention for an independent artist?
Definitely their overall look. You know what I'm saying? I want like something that stands out. I want to see if they could go viral without even saying a word, possibly. So when you look at them, they might have something memorable about them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that could be anything. Like I remember Blueface. Before I even heard music, he always stuck out to me. It's something about him. Maybe the picture of Benjamin Franklin on his face, you know what I'm saying? made me remember him, but it made me remember him. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that's super important is just having your appearance together.
And so you feel like appearance is way more important than just the music itself. Do you feel like
nowadays? As far as business-wise, to me it's about as important as the music itself.
Okay.
To really get a deal, because you see a lot of artists get deals and they're not even you might not give their talent a super high rating, but they are super creative, and that's really what did it for them.
So you feel like artists should just make like a viral moment then? Like, for example, like Boot Gang, he became viral just because he was pretending to steal stuff, and now he got signed. And do you feel like independent artists should have to do that to get signed, or what approach they should take?
I think every artist has a way that they can find their own viral moment. It doesn't have to be doing something crazy as Boot Gang, like stealing, or doing something super crazy like tattooing your face. But you might just have a viral moment because you might have an opinion that's different than everybody else that you express. So you might be able to dance a certain way. So yeah, it's important to get that viral moment, man. Without that viral moment, it's difficult to really enter the game.
All right.
You know.
And what was one artist that had a viral moment that you piqued your interest? I know you spoke about Blueface, but who else have you piqued your interest because they did a viral moment?
Let's see. Who else did a super viral moment? I mean, this artist is new, but he has a following. AB, the football player.
Oh, Antonio Brown.
So he had a crazy viral moment, and he's new to the game still, but he has that following already. But
there's a song with Kanye already coming out soon.
Crazy, right? So that's one person. Another person I'm trying to think of that had like a super crazy viral moment recently. I can't really think of it.
The Island Boys.
Which is crazy, right?
How do you feel about that? Like artists like that, like a lot of people don't like them for their music. They like them just because like they've created a viral moment. Like, should music matter then?
I mean, to be honest with you, now music has turned into more. It has expanded even into the realms of just being like an actor almost, and the realms of just kind of being like WWF in a way. You know what I'm saying? So, me, I do like the music just from the era I come from, but I understand that it's not all about the music, bro, Like, anybody could just come in, and they might not even be rapping on beat. And that might be their thing. They're just totally rapping off beat, and they're dressed with a big marshmallow head or something like that.
Okay.
And, that shit probably a win. You know what I mean?
And, like, speaking of rappers like that, like Lil Pump, like, that had viral moment after viral moment. Now he's, like, on his fall off. Like, how do they continue to get that viral moments to not fall off like that?
Yeah, I think that once you have that fame and you have your moment, you have to really be particular on like your moves and your investments, because nothing lasts nowadays. It's like that shit might be 15 minutes of fame, like they say, So you really have to be strategic with what you're doing. Like look at Soulja Boy. He had more than 15 minutes. Like he kind of went viral, took a break, went viral again, took another break, and went, it's like he knows how to tap into it almost like every time. So he's a good example of really going viral continuously.
All right. And so when many new artists comes out, there's new sounds. Do you feel like your ear has changed over time of what you're listening for? Probably like from like 20 years ago compared to like now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like a lot of people send stuff and they're super lyrical, and I like it personally, but I tell them I'm not sure if everybody will really get it at this point, because people have short attention spans, I feel, and they're not really listening to lyrics so much. They're more feeling vibes. It's more about vibes, you know what I mean? But when I was like in college, it was more about, your lyrical ability. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Can you tell a story and can paint a picture?
Okay. And speaking about lyricism, who do you think is the top 5 lyricists of all time?
Top 5 lyricists? That's funny. We had we were speaking about this yesterday, and mine was Biggie. Well, somebody I was with, they didn't even put Biggie in their list, but Biggie, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, gotta put Fabulous in there, and then I'm gonna put A Boogie in there.
Okay. I know a lot of people be arguing, because I've been in college and people been arguing, is A Boogie really lyrical? I think so, but a lot of people don't be like, no.
Yo, man, they sleep. Boy, I wish he'd drop, A, you listen to this, man, drop the lyrical album, man. He's really lyrical, but, even when he first got on, we kind of told him to dumb it down a little bit just to make the songs bigger. A lot of the bigger songs, they're kind of dumbed down a little bit. But he's definitely a lyricist.
Okay. And do you feel like these newer artists has to pay respect and homage to all these lyricists, rappers that came before them, or you don't think like they have to like know about them?
I mean, it's good to know about them. I'm not gonna tell anybody if they want to pay homage to somebody. That's on them, really. I pay homage because I saw it happen. So, and I did my research. So usually after you do your research, you're gonna pay homage for people who paved the way. But hey, if you don't, I respect it too. It's like everybody's their own man. You might just come in trailblazing, like, listen, this is what I'm doing. So I respect that too, man.
Okay.
You know?
And from where you started, you said you was in college. How did you get into the record label industry? Like, what made you interested about it? We're in college right now in St. John's University. Like, what advice do you want to give to like people, college students, like how you took it to the next level?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I went to college. I ended up leaving college probably after my second or third year. You know what I mean? And I left because my business started taking off. So during college is a good time to really start your business, whatever you're going into, and build yourself. And make a lot of networking contacts and, really prep yourself for your business or whatever industry you want to enter into. So, what I did to start out with, I tapped into my business. They had a business center there, and I told them, different things that I wanted to get into. One was having a record label. So they told me to go out and speak to, start throwing parties, actually. And, through throwing parties, I'm going to meet people, DJs, and people of all walks of life in those events. So that's what I did. So I got a relationship with Cluth through that.
Okay.
And just met different executives. I threw successful parties, met artists because I had artists coming to host. So then I knew Fab though, but then I just made this connection, and everything worked out through the networking.
And that's how you became his manager. I managed him at the time.
Yeah, I managed him just because I knew him through a certain common friend, and he knew I was throwing parties. He knew I knew Clue, and I showed him I was able to make the things happen that I said. So,
and that was you, like 20 years old. How did you feel starstruck to any of the artist people like you met at the time? Like, oh, he's here. Like, oh, I just met him, or.
I remember one time I really saw Biggie in person, and that was one of my favorite artists. And, Big is just like a big dude, and the way he dressed was like bigger than life. So he had a big-ass fur, and a big hat. He already's big and is, big and fat and fucking tall. So it was some weird shit. And he got out a big-ass foreign car, So that was one time I kind of was taken aback, like, oh, shit, man. I felt the energy. Like superstar energy, and at this point, I probably was just, I might have been 18.
Right. And for doing it for 20 years, like, how do you continue doing your drive is still there right to this day? Like, how do you not lose focus? How do you not be doubtful about it? Like, how do you continue to keep going?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So just kind of tapping into the young energy and keep staying around, people that are making their way to enter into the industry. Attaching myself to youthful people, smart people, and I like seeing artists go from point A to iconic status.
Okay.
Like that keeps me going, man. To see them, they might be broke in March, and then by August they'll be getting 20,000 a show. You know what I mean? And that's definitely possible by just, like I said, going viral and shit like that.
Okay. And so far, can you look back in your career right now and be satisfied where you're at right now?
Super. Super. But what will really make me satisfied is having more say politically and having music just be a power politically also. Because music and just the culture that we're all in now, it fuses with everything, with fashion. It fuses with just the digital world.
Okay.
So I just want to kind of take it to political levels now.
Okay. Do you feel like that rap and hip hop is the culture of America right now? Like they cause what's trendy and everything. Do you feel like rapping is the culture?
The youth, yeah. The youth really say what is cool now. Before, it used to be more gatekeepers, you know what I mean? So it wasn't the youth so much. So now, definitely, it's the youth. So, for sure, I definitely would agree with that statement. You know what I mean?
And speaking about politics, your mixtape, Insurrection, the concept of the cover art? What made you? Because that's politics. You really had Joe Biden in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
exactly.
What was the inspiration about the cover art?
Yeah, the cover art to the Insurrection, the mixtape we dropped under the Takeover label, it was inspired by the real insurrection that happened. I thought that was really a crazy incident to have witnessed, you know what I'm saying, in my lifetime. And just a lot of crazy things was happening as far as it was a pandemic going on. There's still a pandemic. And we just switched presidents. We went from Bush to Joe Biden. I thought that was two extremes. So the cover, I just kind of made it, or tried to have someone make it very shocking in a way. You know what I'm saying? When you look at it, it's like, whoa, what's this all about? Kind of to intrigue, make somebody intrigued by it and look at it. So then you could kind of ask those questions, you know what I mean? And then we could get into the political discussion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And speaking about the pandemic, like you spoke about, as a big issue right now, you know, do you think it has helped rappers? 'Cause I've seen a lot of rappers, they decide not to make music during the pandemic, and a lot of rappers thrive through the pandemic, just, you know, making TikToks and everything. How important did the pandemic help upcoming artists?
I think if you used it the right way, that shit was huge for you. You know what I mean? Because people were in one place at one time. You know what I mean? So you could capture their attention easily. You know what I mean? And look how big Zoom got over that time. And Amazon grew so big just because people were sitting at home. Mm-hmm. So some people really took advantage of that. Some people might not have, you know. So, you know, the smarter rappers definitely came up off of that time, you know.
Okay. And, you know, going back to your career, what do you think was the 3 biggest accomplishments that you have done?
Sure. So, I mean, strictly career-wise, you know, my accomplishments, one was just landing a multi-million-dollar deal for a young street artists and CEOs, Highbridge, with Atlantic, you know, just helping close that multi-million-dollar deal and just seeing someone make millions in one shot. And I know that I met them in the projects. So, and now just to see them as millionaires and having, you know, just a huge opportunity and impact, that's one thing. Another thing would be that I had have a clothing line. It's called Rich Young. So this is a clothing line that I launched with Fabulous. And, you know, that has made a lot of waves with people. And we're now relaunching that. And just being able to relaunch it and having launched that all together, that was big for me, just making that move into fashion like that, you know. And we're relaunching that this summer, too. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the last thing is really just what I'm doing now with launching the Takeover brand and being able to help independent artists and CEOs take their career to the next level and, you know, lock in a major deal. You know, that's huge for me. We're able to really touch a lot of people just through that alone, worldwide.
And with work life is a lot, you know, a lot of work you're doing. How do you manage personal life and work life? How important is that for you?
Yeah, man, like a lot of just having this 2 or 3 phones, and then having people a part of the company that empower you and allow you to kind of take some of the load off. Like, you know, I have Frank here that helps me out, and he's a big part of the company. And I have, you know, a couple of other huge pieces of the company that are part of it. You know, I don't even like saying staff, or I like just saying it's just part of the family, building the family, like, you know what I'm saying? Now he brought you guys as part of the family, you know what I mean? And it just grows, it grows and grows. So that's how you could balance it, just having strong people as part of the team.
All right. And another thing that a lot of rappers face is mental health. How important is mental health, you know, in this industry where a lot of things, you know, doesn't go the right way for a person?
Yo, for sure, man. That's definitely a great question. A lot of artists definitely, I would say over half of the artists, way over half of the artists, either suffer or have suffered through some type of, you know, mental suffering or, going through mental issues. And, I mean, to me, it starts out with really kind of just having a communication with God. And that kind of always comes to that. You kind of got to have a relationship with God at a young age. And it seems like we're moving further and further from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And maybe I don't want that to become part of the culture as a disconnect.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And the labels also, I feel, they have money to kind of help correct this issue. So, they have programs to help any issues that an artist might have mentally. You know what I mean?
All right. And speaking about God, do you feel like you have a good relationship with God and everything?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's one of the things I definitely like to just kind of mention every interview or anybody I speak to. I kind of like to eventually drop that jewel, not dwell on it or preach. But, I'm not perfect, but if you're not perfect, you need that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, for sure. I have a great communication.
And I want to know, what verse do you stand by from the Bible then?
Cool. Well, more than just the verse, it's like I try to emulate the characters or certain characters in the Bible. So Jesus was in the Bible. I look at his story. I look at Moses, and I try to emulate things that they did, like lead people and be humble. So I couldn't say a verse off the top, but I could definitely talk about the people that were in there.
Yeah. And you spoke about leading people and giving advice. I want to know, what was the best advice someone gave you? And so, you probably give advice to everyone. What was the best advice someone gave you?
Cool, yeah. The best advice someone really gave me was they gave me some knowledge about, God. That's what we were talking about. So, like, I kind of was confused in that area. And then someone, a mentor, I would say that this person was a mentor. This was like my sister's ex-husband. And when I was young, he kind of gave me a viewpoint of this God that I didn't see before. It wasn't really through a religious scope. It was more through a spiritual scope. Mm-hmm. So then from there, it was more of a one-on-one relationship. So, he gave me some good pointers. That's like the most important of manifestation. You got to have that.
Okay, that's good to know. Manifestation is really important about anything. That you want to put anything out in the world, it will come to you. It's like how karma is. And, we spoke about the past, the present. What's the future? What does Takeover have for 2022?
For sure, man. The Takeover, we're doing a big tour. We just was speaking about coming to St. John's, you know what I'm saying, and bringing some artists here. We just opened up a booking agency arm of the Takeover to where we book out our artists and also bigger artists like A Boogie, Fabulous. Again, we're taking a trip overseas to the UK. Okay. To kind of dig our roots over there a little bit stronger.
Okay, and that's the big artists, A Boogie and Fab. I'm talking like, how about the little artists? You got Daily,
for sure,
and Lil Bunko. Like, what can we expect from them?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. We've been talking to distribution companies like Sony and Warner to get strong backing for their projects. So. We're trying to see what family we're going to jump into for them.
And should upcoming artists always sign, or how do you feel about like artists like Russ who preaches like no one should ever be signing? You always should be independent.
Right. I believe there's a point to where you should sign. I feel you need to build your brand up until the artists are really coming to your table. So it's really important to stay independent until, you get to a point where you can't really break through that ceiling. Okay. You know what I mean? And I got to look up Russ and more about his deals, but I'm pretty sure every artist has some type of situation. You know what I'm saying? Even when they say they're independent, they might have took a deal with, with Empire or...
They caught some... Chance the Rapper, they caught him with that. He was preaching independency, and then they found out he was doing a distribution deal for his coloring book tape.
It's always a way. And saying you're independent is it's a marketing play too, really, because people want to feel like you're doing this by yourself and there's a big giant, you got this grassroots fan base, and it just is a better story when it's just you and not this conglomerate bank behind you.
Okay. And you said about brand and how big a part is like how your brand is. This leads to my last question. I always ask this question with everyone that comes in, rapper or clothing brand or anything. What type of legacy do you want to have with the name WebCeo in the future, and also Takeover?
For sure, man. And what I'm laying down right now is a foundation for, to just stay on this earth while I'm gone. It's a school, business school, to help young poor, not even if you're poor, but you might have disadvantages against you. Business schools, though, it concentrates on business, and I think the schooling system right now needs a big change.
Okay.
Starting from first grade, kindergarten, and up. You know what I mean? We need to focus on a whole lot of different things that I don't think they're focusing on. Like even gaming. Like gaming should be, they should really focus on how to start monetizing that, because, come on, that's the biggest industry right now. Okay.
And right before we head out, education, I want to get into that. You see rappers, now teaching, students about the record label industry. Can you see yourself teaching in the future, like a college class, a college course about managing and the record label?
I could definitely, I teach every day when I speak to individuals on Zooms and conference calls, but I would definitely like to have a day where I come to the campus and do to a bigger audience and really speak to them. So maybe we could set that up.
Yeah, definitely. We could try to set that up, like a panel.
I hate the word try.
We get
yeah, facts.
No, that's one. I never say try, bro. That's like a curse.
Okay, we're gonna make that happen.
Yo, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. And before we head out, what do you want to say to your supporters and everyone that's supporting the Takeover and everything that you're doing?
Yo, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning in and being my support system and helping me with the views and the listens, and hey, I just want to be as transparent and as accessible to you guys. So tap into my Instagram, tap into Frank, and let's get it.
All right, and what's the Instagram that you want to?
My Instagram is webb.ceo, and then the Takeover Instagram is the Takeover INC.
Okay. Thank you for coming through. It's a pleasure to meet you, a legend yourself. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, bro.